Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining me again. Yesterday, I watched a brilliant documentary film on Netflix called My Octopus Teacher. You might have heard of it, lots of people are talking about it, you might even have seen it. In case you haven't, it's the story of a man and an octopus and their relationship. It's a true story. It may seem a little improbable that a human being and an octopus can have a relationship, and I think that initially the man in the video was rather surprised too. It began with his enjoyment as a child of swimming in a particular place where he'd been living, and the realization later in life, after 20 years of being, I think, a wildlife cameraman, that he was missing something that had brought him much joy. And so he began to swim as he had as a child in the kelp forests of South Africa. And he became fascinated with an octopus. He started by watching her and was just fascinated by the way that she moved, the way she could change, the small spaces that she could get through. And then he began taking pictures and videos of her. And then one day something amazing happened. She was moving towards him and he was sort of backing away, but she seemed to want to come towards him. So he held out his hand to her, and it was that was when something amazing happened because she began to explore his fingers with her tentacles. There's a bit later on in the film where he holds his hand out, kind of like a fist. I think like you might for a bird of prey or something like that. And she swims across and settles herself on his hand. And actually, it's as if she's caressing him. It's very beautiful. And so connection is made between them and relationship grows. This morning at Zoom Church, I was talking about prayer. I was talking about the different ways in which we connect with the something outside ourselves that I would call God. Now, I have different ways in which I connect with God at different times. My preferred go-to place in prayer is silence, what you might call contemplative or centering prayer. But I also connect with God through being out in nature, through other people, through what I'm reading, through making things. The list could go on. In the octopus film, the man's relationship with the octopus grows as his awareness grows. There's a point at which the octopus moves den. The man wants to find her, but finding an octopus that is hiding is a very difficult thing to do. They can change colour and shape and even their texture to blend in with their background. And so the man learns how to track an octopus. He learns the sorts of marks and signs that an octopus leaves behind them. And he does find her again. It's quite remarkable. But it made me think that connecting with God also has something to do with our awareness. There are times and places, maybe the times when we join others in worship, if we do that, or when we have a quiet time that's specifically set aside for prayer or Bible reading, that we hope, maybe even expect to connect with God. But if we develop our awareness that God truly is in all times and all places, then maybe we'll see signs of his presence in less expected moments, as well as connecting with him in the places where we expect him to be. Our God is a God of the unexpected. Maybe we should be up for that. I'm going to finish by reading you a poem as a prayer. This is by Anne Lewin, and it's called Benedicite. On the surface, it's about swans, but maybe if we're really deeply aware, perhaps it's about more than that. Swans came this morning, curving whiteness reflected on the lake. They stayed, feeding, delighting those who saw. Then, with that slow, distinctive wing beat, they flew, leaving a sadness on the empty lake. so beautiful, they stir strange longings. Will they return? We would be honoured to be chosen for such privilege. Amen. Thank you for joining me. See you again tomorrow, I hope. Bye for now.